Way back on the 14th of August 2012, ACase sent me a tweet asking if I wanted to do a review of their new cases for the iPhone 5 and the iPad mini. Well, that was a little bit strange because neither of those products had been announced. The iPhone 5 was only announced on the 12th of September 2012 and the iPad mini even later on the 23rd of October. So it seems like ACase must also have a crystal ball in development. But subsequently anyway, they sent me the cases for the iPhone 5. I did a review of those on the site and I gave some away. And then just before Christmas, the case for the iPad mini turned up. So it's finally time to do the review of it. After removing it from the packaging, it becomes clear that it's not in the strict sense of the term a case. It's more like a protective shell that goes on the rear of the iPad mini to protect it from bumps and bruises. The interior is this soft rubberized coating that's a little bit cushioned, and then the exterior is this hard plastic layer. Now those two parts don't come apart as they do on the iPhone 5 Superleggera case I demonstrated. They're welded together as one unit. But this then begs the question, what's the point of this protector? If all it's doing is protecting the rear of the iPad mini, a thing that I'm not particularly bothered about getting scratches on, what's protecting the front of it? It's the front that I'm concerned about. I don't want scratches on this screen. The thing with an iPad mini is you're going to chuck it in bags and things. That's the whole idea. You carry it around with you. You don't leave it at home. Now, on an iPad 1, I recommended people put a matte screen protector on. That was to stop reflections because the iPad 1 reflected like mad. However, the new iPad mini doesn't have these reflections. It's got less layers in the screen due to using a Ditto film touchscreen thingamajig in it. One less layer in the screen, a lot less reflections. So I still want to protect the front of the iPad mini though. Believe it or not, polishing it with a cloth like that can scratch it. I've managed to do that on an iPad 3. Luckily I managed to replace it for another reason and I've got a new one and I'm being more careful with it. But you really want to look after that screen, so I think you need a case with a front protector on. But anyway, let's carry on looking at this rear protector and just see how it goes about its job and see if it does have any function at all other than just protecting the rear from scratches. Well, the iPad mini of course just clips in it like this. It fits nicely actually. It doesn't seem to want to fall out and it fits nice and neat in there and very easy to get in to the case. It does have some rubber lugs here that protect things like the headphone socket. The mic there's exposed. There's a button that presses the other button inside it, as are the volume buttons, but the little sort of slider switch there is exposed. There's a sort of rubber bar along the bottom here where I'm rubbing my thumb on. I'll explain what that's about in a minute. And then when you go around to this end of it, that's a bit weird, isn't it? The dock connector's got a protector on, but the speakers are exposed. Of course, you need the speakers exposed, but it makes you beg the question, why bother covering the dock protector up? It's not exactly going to be waterproof, is it? And then there's a couple of more feet on the end here, which I'll show you what those are for in a moment. Right, now let's have a look at this bit on the back. That's intriguing. Well, that is a pull-out stand. You sort of pull it out like this and it clips in place. Now, as you can see here, you can stand your iPad mini up like a sort of picture frame type shape, or you can watch video on that or something. Now, this little bit here is metal inside. The flap on the outside is plastic, but the bit in the middle is metal, and it will lock in place like that. I'll just show you. If you pull it down here, you can see the little sort of lug at the bottom there. It flips over that, and that kind of locks it in place. Now, the reason you would want to lock it in place like that, that's all connected with that rubber bit there, because when you lie it down like this, it makes it into a nice sort of keyboard shape, so you can type on it, and you've got no fear of the thing sort of popping flat or sliding about. Now, these 2 feet on this end here, that's when you stand it upright like that. The idea is it's supposed to stand on those and hold it steady. Now the case does give some kind of protection to the iPad other than the back. The front is slightly protected because it's slightly recessed the screen away from the edge. So you can slide your iPad around on a flat surface without scratching the screen, but you wouldn't really want to try it on anything other than a perfectly flat surface. These rubber bits on the end I felt were a little bit weird, where the case goes hard and then there's a rubbery bit that's soft and it's hard again. That felt strange. And then the end of that part there, as you can hear, it's kind of rather scratchy. I really wouldn't want to scratch that around on any nice surfaces. And then a missed trick here is the smart cover. If they'd have cut a bit of the plastic out here, the smart cover would fit. But unfortunately, you can't use a smart cover with this case. And of course, the case does add a little bit of thickness to the iPad mini, which is all about being small. So that's the ACase Superleggera for the iPad mini. I'm not quite sure who would want this. Maybe you would, but it doesn't really suit my requirements to protect both sides of the iPad mini. But if this is the kind of thing you want, you can get one at the moment on Amazon for only $10. The reason I mention the dollars is because that's the link that ACase sent to me. You might be able to find it in other places as well. But for the moment, thanks for watching.